Welcome, friends, to this series of learning containers and Kubernetes. So, in the earlier couple of lectures, we saw how we can build the Docker images from Docker file. We tried to optimize to write the Docker file in a very efficient way. Also, we spinned up the containers from the Docker images. Now, in this particular video, we will come to know how we can manage the releases and how we can customize our running containers and how we can modify the applications from the running applications by using the Docker commit. So till now, this is the Docker workflow, and we have covered how we can pull the Docker images from the registry. Also, we saw how we can build the Docker image from a Docker file. Also, we saw how we can run the container, how we can spin the container from the Docker image. Now, in this particular video, we will come to know how we can commit a new image from customize the container, and we can bring the container state to an image by committing that particular container to an image. So let's jump to the console and let's get started. So friends, this is our host machine where we have run the Docker container. In the last lecture, we saw how we can use the Docker Compose to run the containers, multi-container system. And currently we are having the two containers. One is for MySQL, that is root MySQL 1, and the other container that is running the actual app, the Python app, and the name of the container is root myapp1. And we also map the ports of containers 5000 port to hosts 80 port. And we are having two Docker images for now. One is for MySQL, which we actually pulled from the Docker Hub to the Docker Compose. And also we build a custom application, Python application, and that is root my app. Now we are having two networks, custom networks. One is root mynet, which is an external network. I mean, this particular network, anybody from the external world can reach to this particular network. But this root private net is actually, again, a breach network, but this is actually the internal network. And also, this is our actual IP address of this host, 34.172.109.241. So if you have missed those videos where we build these Python applications in multi-container system, you can definitely watch that video, and you can have some idea like how we can run the multi-container system in a production environment. So we are going to provide the links in the description below. Now, in this particular video, we first want to know how we can tag our images. So far, we have two Docker images, but they don't have any tag itself, and it is saying that we are having the latest tag. So now let us customize this particular app, root my app image, Docker image. And first and foremost thing we will do, we will learn how we can tag this particular image. So the command is very much easy. So it is something like Docker tag and then root my app, and we are going to tag it as my app, and as well as we are going to provide a tag version 1.0. If we do so, what it will do, it will, if we check the Docker images, we will see that one more entry is coming to the picture, that is my app, and instead of tag latest, this time it is picking up this tag which is provided after colon. So v1 1.0, and it is having one image ID. If you check the size, it is exactly the same size of this one. So basically, this is a cloned one, cloned image of this particular Docker image root my app. So there is nothing new. If you spin up one container from this Docker image, it will exactly do the same thing, whatever it is serving from root my app. So let's park this at a side, and we can see how we can customize our actual Docker image that is root my app. And what we will do, first, we will copy our application. So if you see, we are having app.py from where our Docker Compose actually copying this into the Docker image and then in the container. So first we will copy to a new file, and we can say app.v2.py, and we are going to modify this new Python file. And maybe over here after the main, we can specify one line just to mention that this is the second version, and we can streamline the right, and we are going to say this is the second version. So let me save this particular file and come back to the console. And now we're going to copy this particular app.v2.py into the running container. If you see what is the running container, you can see it is root my app 1. So we are going to copy this app.v2.py into root my app 1, and inside the working directory is /app/app.py. So if we do so, if we check this particular IP address, which is 34.172.109.241, now if you go to the browser and if we type HTTP and then these 34.172.109 and 241, which is the external IP address of the host, we can see the application is running, but the new entry, that this is the second version, is coming to the picture, which we have written inside the app.py. And the other function is going as usual. Okay, so we have just made the second version of this particular app inside the container. So we actually copied the application, the Python script, and then we just copied the Python script inside the running container. So this is how the second version is going on. So how we can use the second version of this container in a Docker image. So first we will check what are the images right now we will have. So Docker images, we can see we're having my app version 1.0, what we actually tagged at the beginning of the video, and then root my app latest, which is a running image right now. So now our new command is docker commit. So let me clear the screen, and the command is docker commit and then root my app 1, which is the container, running container, where we have made the modification of the application. And we are going to say the new image would be my app, but the version is 1.1. If we do so, we can check the images. We can see there is one more entry has come into the picture, which is my app version 1.1. So right now we are having three versions. One is root my app latest, which is basically exactly same as we have tagged it in a versioned way. So the new version of this particular application is my app v1.0, where there is no other changes. we just tagged in a professional way. And then we have made some changes in this particular root my app, and we have tagged it at my app version 1.1. Now, let's do one thing. Run, let me check the running containers, and let me remove this particular root my app one container. So if we do so, we are not having this application running anymore. We are having only MySQL, root MySQL container. Now, let me run our container once again, but this time we will use my app version 1.0, and also we will use my app version 1.1. So if we run the container from 1.0, it will be the first version of the application. But if we run the container from version 1.1, we can run the second version of this application. And we can do that simultaneously, but we will map the different ports of the host. So let me run this command, docker run -d, which will run it in background. And if you can notice, we are having a couple of environment variables through which we are going to provide the database connection details. So root is the root user, and root123 is the password that we provided at the time when this MySQL container was run. And also, we specified the IP address 10.2.0.2, which we actually provided into the YAML file in the Docker Compose. In the last video, we provided the hard-coded DB host for the host MySQL database server. Also, we are providing the default database port, and this time we are mapping this application for 5,000, which is the containers port, because we have exposed this 5,000 inside the container. And we're going to map this with 8080. So instead of default 80 port, we need to access this particular application from host's 8080 port. Now, one interesting thing you need to remember that this particular app needs to be connected with two network. One is private network for the database connections communicating with this database server, and root mynet, which is basically the external network for anyone from the external world can reach to this mynet. So the application will be part of both of these networks. And this time we are running it for the 1.0 version. So from my app 1.0, this container will be spinned up. So if we do so, the container is going to be running from 8080 port. So let's jump to the browser and let's see what exactly right now on 8080 port. If we say server name and then colon 8080, we can see the application is running well and good, and this time it is running the first version, because in the first version we did not specify any kind of version over here, and it is running perfectly fine. Okay, and now this time we are going to run another container from a different port, and maybe we can use 8081, and we are specifying everything exactly the same like the first container, but this time we're going to say the port should be mapped with 8081. And also this time we are going to use this my app version 1.1, where we have actually provided the second version of the container. So if we run this one, and again, let's jump to the browser, and let me copy this one and open a new browser. And here, instead of 8080, if we go 8081 port, we can see that this is the second version which is mentioned. So at the same time, 8080 port is running, which is running the first version of the application, and this is the second version of the application. But both of the application is using and connecting to the same database. If we see, we can see the same content is showing, and if we put a sixth item, which is version 2, and if we insert this thing over here, it can see that the version 2 inserted successfully. And if we go to this version 1 of this application, and again we click the show item, we can see the version 2 is popping up over here. And same thing we will do from version 1. And if we insert this thing, and we can go to the second version and try to show this one, and we can see the version 1 is also showing. So we can see how we can control the different versions and how we can commit the running container to a Docker image so that we can run multiple containers in multiple versions in the same host, and the application can connect to the same database server. And this is the foundation of how we can manage our releases and how we can control the version, what exactly the tag means, how it is useful in our production system. We can definitely create a new container, and we can spin that up to the different image, and that can serve our purpose. Thank you for watching this video, friends. In this particular video, we show how we can manage the releases. And in the upcoming video, we will see how we can save the containers in a file, how we can save the Docker image into a file, and how we can export and load the Docker images from a flat file. And subsequent lectures, we will see how we can push the images to Docker Hub. So till now, we have only pulled the images from the Docker Hub, but we will see how we can use the repository for our own custom images to push. Thank you for watching this video. I'm sure that you have enjoyed a lot with this video, and we will see you in the next lecture. Till then, bye and be safe. Thank you.